Okay, hello everyone who's watching this, probably just Miss Wild, but welcome to this presentation thing of Ein Klein Nackt Musik, and this is a podcast slash PowerPoint thing that I made. So initially this doesn't look too spectacular, but what happens is I'm just going to be talking out as I go through this thing. So for example, if we look at bars 1 to 9, which I have portrayed right here on this particular PowerPoint slide, what's used in here is an anacrusis at the start of the piece initially, which which as we can see is right here. Oops, hold up. Which is right here. It's the upbeat, because as you can see there's two rests here before everything else comes in. And immediately we notice that this is written for a string quartet consisting of violin 1, violin 2, viola, and the bass. And as we can see, it starts with an ascending melody going up one note at a time. So we've got G, A, B, C, etc., etc. Another thing that we can immediately notice by looking at this is that the melody is an octave apart. For example, on violin 1 it seems to be a high G, while on violin 2 part it's an octave lower. Another thing that I've also noticed that, wait, did I put it on here? No, I didn't put it on here, but these parts play in forte. Oh, sorry, all the parts play in forte as the piece is beginning in the opening section. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, if we look at the key signature, the key is in G major, and the timing is, the time signature is also in 3/4. Oh yeah, as we can also see, the piece is immediately homophonic, and trills for ornamentation are used here by violins 1 and violin 2 in the melody. Oh yeah, and I forgot, the piece also finishes on a perfect cadence. So that was it for bars 1 to 9. Now if we look at bars 10 to 17, which is still, which I believe this is the end of the minuet section, there are a few contrasting features here. For example, while there is in fact still an anacrusis at the start of the piece here, this time all the instruments playing the string quartet play in piano instead of forte. The sequence, oh yeah, a sequence is seen in this section. I believe it's here, with a crescendo on all 4 of the stringed instruments here. And later on in the piece, it's in this particular bar, sorry, it switches into forte, and trills used for ornamentation are seen again. And yes, okay, that's covered everything in that section. The next bars are, bars 18 to 24, and this marks the opening of the trio section, as we can see right here. One of the immediate things that you notice about this section is, in particular, the key change into D major, as indicated here by the sharps. Again, everything's playing in piano. However, another change that's happened is that Violin 2 no longer plays the melody with violin 1. It instead becomes far more accompanying with the viola and the double bass. Oh, yes, I forgot. The violin is the only thing that's currently not playing in piano in this particular section. And as we can also see, there are a few staccato notes present that were not present in other places of the song. It's also quite prominent down here on the bass part, on the bass line. Won't circle all of them. Oh, chromatic movement over here. Almost forgot. This section here has chromatic movement right there. Okay, now the next section, which I believe is, yes, bars 25 to 32. And let's take a look at what's featured in this section. So in this section, one of the first things I immediately notice is that the melody... oh yes, the melody is an octave apart for the instrument, particularly in this section here, with this thing. For example, as you can see, it's a in this section here, with this stuff here. It's an octave apart here, as established. Everything in this section is in forte, and I don't know why I put that there. This is not the start of the new section, and there is also, I believe, a perfect cadence here. Oh, we also see sotto voce here. Almost missed that. It literally just means hushed voice, so the instruments would play a little bit quieter. And here we have the other parts playing in piano. And finally we have the last bars, which are bars 33 to 39 in the piece. With bars 33 to 39 in the piece. So, these are the final bars, and as you'd expect, they would be quite eventful. So, what's used in this section? Well, immediately, I'm just going to say it ends in a perfect cadence, as signified over here. Again, we have staccato notes played by the bass, however I think that's the norm by this point. I think the melody is conjunct in this section. Yeah, it is. Conjunct melody. I don't know why I've not wrote about that. Sorry. It also ends in the dominant home key, as this officially marks the end of the trio section, and it goes back to the minuet section, hence the name of the structure, minuet and trio. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything else here, but this is basically it. So yeah, thank you for listening to my presentation. Like, I hope this went okay. All in all, this is like my 6th attempt at this. Like, there were far worse interruptions before, but this time I got through it relatively safely. Originally my friend was going to join me, but that didn't happen. They were busy or something, I don't really know. But yeah, that's essentially it, I think, for this whole thing. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not really as good as any other people's that I know it's not as good as many other people's there, probably along with the whole class, but like I tried my best. I tried various different ways, but this one seemed to be the easiest for me since I couldn't really get any of them to work right. So I just went with this, and I hope it's okay. I kept it quick, I kept it easy, I kept it simple. Thanks for listening.